Leafs legend, Eric Lindros.
How you guys doing?
Good, Eric. How are you?
I'm good. I'm still just getting over the dangle. What a great handle for hockey.
It's so good, and it's completely accidental. It's actually from my high school newspaper, because I don't know if you know this. I'm a nerd and a complete and utter loser. And you were a junior hockey star who I don't know. I think you went on to have a pretty good pro career, right?
You did okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Legion of Doom rings some bells.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Scarborough, East Scarborough, sort of at the Scarborough-Pickering border.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but now I'm in Oshawa, and I'm just up the street from the famous Ted's.
So Eric, he's really upgraded.
Shut up! You can't diss Oshawa to Eric Lindros.
He's laughing, isn't he?
How dare you?
Come on.
Okay.
I am not laughing. I am listening.
Did you or your teammates, all of age, of course, ever frequent the Tartan Tavern?
The Tartan might have been on the list for sure.
Might have. That's a good hockey answer right there. It's like
weird.
that.
Might have been on the list. Yeah.
Because I've only been there a few years, and I'm always like, oh yeah, the Tartan's just down the street, and all the locals go, the Tartan. Oh, the Tartanic, and I want to know what goes on there.
Yeah, Eric, we want to thank you for making time for us. It's a Friday night. You probably do have better things to do, but we really appreciate you making time for the show anyway. You and Steve specifically, and a lot of other people obviously, are working together on the Easter Seals
Celebrity Hockey Classic.
Celebrity Hockey Classic. So, can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved and why you wanted to be a part of this?
Well, I guess we started about 7 years ago. Andrew Jackson from Jackson Events, I had known him a little bit, and he approached me about doing something with the Easter Seals, and he had an idea of doing a hockey event that was had some fun with it on the night before, and had a draft party, and so he had his vision of what it was going to be, and I wanted to look into Easter Seals and see how that charity ran and its efficiencies, and I was greatly impressed with it. And after going to the camps and meeting so many of the people that are associated with Easter Seals, it's a great spot. It's a first class charity that. Really, I think we run at 82%, 82 cents on the dollar from our event gets to the kids, and I don't think many charities can speak to that. So it runs clean, and happy to be involved with it. I think it's moving along. Every year we keep getting stronger, and this year I think our goal was 400,000. The first year I think we only made about 70 or 80, but we only gave ourselves 6 weeks or 5 weeks to get things going. And every year we get stronger. We've got new ideas and some fresh blood, but the core of it all is, one, the great charity that everyone is supporting, and two, hockey and everything that is involved with it in terms of the fun games and the draft night the night before, and the socializing and being around a bunch of guys. There's a lot of storytelling, and it's just it's a great day and a half.
There are a couple stories told. It only takes one or two, and Dennis Marouk starts shouting, and I'm mostly selling his book. To make your point, we've already, I think, pretty much doubled what you raised in the first year. We're already at $143,910. It says the goal on the website is $250,000, but we're gonna beat that, right? Last year we had over 300, I think.
Yeah, no, I think I think Trevor Newell, who stepped on board and is really helping out the group, he put a level of 400 at it this year, and I think a lot of the teams kind of hold off to the end. They keep a few and kind of jockey around on draft night, having a little bit extra in the back pocket to hammer down when they want to have their pick or whatnot. So it's always fun. It's exciting. But the bottom line is we raise a lot of money. It goes to a fantastic cause. And I think, when you get to see some of the kids and what they go through, and the freedom that the camps give them, the independence, the self-confidence. It's truly a wonderful thing, and it's supporting that. It's supporting changing the homes of those involved, and vehicles, making everything accessible for wheelchairs and whatever the case may be.
Which are like $3,500 or something. I think it was
crazy.
on the website. They're extremely expensive.
It's extremely expensive, and this is covering it. This is helping out.
Yeah.
So it's. Yeah, I mean,
Eric, it's
a great group.
It's a great group, and just to augment this great group, it's not just you involved. You've got Adam Graves, John LeClaire, Dennis Marukas, Steve mentioned, Mike Krushelninski, Tom Fergus, Ali Afraidy, Wayne Primo, Steve Thomas, Gary Lehman, Marty Turco, Nick Gantropov, Matt Barnaby, Ethan Morrow, Troy Crowder. There's so many great names attached to this, and what's so cool is that, guys like us, the regular Joes, get to come in and draft you guys.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It really is fun. And those guys, they come in Thursday night and Thursday afternoon and stay Thursday and the whole day Friday. They really go out of their way to make it a great experience for the team that they're, not just the team that they're drafted by, but everybody else in the place that's associated with the event. So hats off to those guys for being available and for coming and supporting.
And were you one of those guys, because most of the alumni last year, cause I got to play in it last year, most of the alumni sort of took it easy on like the regular Joes. Are you one of the guys who keeps it turned on, or do you tone it down a little bit? Because I know Wayne Primo and Nick Antropov especially had no mercy. None.
Yeah. No, I think, those two, it sounds like they can still really play.
Antropov was playing for a contract last year.
Yeah, he still thought there's. No, we generally speaking, I guess it depends on some teams. Some teams, I played on a couple teams where there were some younger players, and it was intense. It was these guys had practices, and they were part of it. The majority of that team was part of another team that skated all the time together. So they had breakouts, and they were right into it. But then you get drafted by a different team, and a couple of years down the way, and it's more just strap them on and have some fun and just move the puck around and enjoy it. I mean, the bottom line in hockey is the best game in the world, and we're able to go out and do it, and we're doing it for a great cause.
Please tell me the team with the breakout didn't actually try to explain to Eric Lindros what to do.
Did they tell you their mean strategies?
Hey, go up the right wing or whatever.
Yeah. They didn't have the whiteboard out or the chalkboard going per se, but no, there's a great deal of communication that was. I'm saying communication, but there was a lot of yelling in my direction as to what to do.
That's amazing. Oh my
I was the new guy on the team. And I needed to learn it quick.
Oh, wow. And when was the last time you were yelled at on the ice like that? It's been a while, I'm sure.
It was just fun. We're just having a good time, and it's fun. So we try and match up. We've gotten the good thing about this is over the course of the 7 years, we've gotten to know the levels of each team, and we have conferences or divisions rather that if we got some real fast teams, we put them all together and they all play each other, and then if some of the we'll call them veteran teams or the guys are a little bit older, we put those guys together and they play against one another. So we try and keep the competition equal and have some fun, and we're able to do that knowing a lot of the teams that have come back year after year and supported.
Eric, just switching gears for a second here. I mean, you've obviously. I mean, I'm sure you still watch the games from time to time. You're obviously aware of things and how they can be here in Toronto and in other hot markets like New York and Philadelphia. And so the Leafs have lost a couple games in a row, and people have lost their minds. When you're a player on the other side of that, I'm going to read you a quote today.
Sure.
At the top of the lineup, Tavares and Marner need to be more productive, even if they produced most of the scoring opportunities against the Stars. After a terrific start to the season, Tavares has been okay for the Leafs. Just okay. you don't pay $11 million for Just Okay. And that comes from our friend Steve Simmons.
I was just about to say, but you wouldn't have had to tell him. He played here. He knows it's Steve.
It's they're 8-5. They had a couple bumps. Their top scoring center is out, but they're still a really, really good team. You've played on teams that are good like the Leafs are currently. When you're standing on the other side of the room and you're hearing these sorts of media reports, how do you even process that, or do you at all?
If I was a Leaf, I wouldn't be processing too much of that at all. I think you look in the dressing room; they've got a good dressing room, and in any sport, in any great team. I mean, look at Boston. They didn't. I'm sure they had some stretches in there where they were 8-5, and then they ended up winning the World Series, so on and so forth. I mean, they won it from the start all the way through. Did they not? Did they not stem the stern, carry the first place badge? I mean, geez. 8-5. It's still a pretty good start, and
that's what I think.
And you're doing it minus. Yeah, I mean, let's just calm down. You know what would scare me is if you're not getting chances.
Right.
That would be that if you're generating chances and they're not going in, and some nights they're not going to happen, and some nights they're not going in. That's reason to take a second glance at things. But when you're getting a lot of chances, you're going to be just fine, especially with the players that they have.
And okay, here's the harder question, and don't hate me for asking it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. You know what it's like to be at loggerheads with the team over a contract, right? Where player thinks that they want to make this much, team thinks another thing. And in your particular situation, there were circumstances that were a little different than what the Leafs are going through with William Nylander. We swore we weren't going to talk about Nylander today, but I thought you're the perfect guy to ask.
This is it.
Yeah, this is
mine was not monetarily based. So
okay,
a lot of it's completely different. I feel bad for both sides. It's this new the system of the salary cap has really made it a tough one. Where it's first, second, and third to the dinner table, right?
Yeah,
and then the rotation of who's who's finished their meal and where is there a seat available, right? So it's an interesting one. The bottom line is you hope that the Leafs can get Willem back in the lineup and that things move forward. But maybe that's more of a short-term bridge contract than something that's the 6, 7, 8 year deal.
Right. Well, and it's one of those things that, like, as fans, and I think
it's all consuming.
It's all consuming, right? Like, we've got this phenomenal hockey team, and all anybody can talk about is the one guy that's not playing for it. And as a player on the outside looking in, you're rooting for your teammates, right? But it must be hard to root for the team.
I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking.
Fair enough.
I don't know what he's thinking, but it's also maybe a good time if to really assess where you're at in terms of your depth too, as well, and look at not just the offensive side of things, but what's going on in the defensive side, and in particular defensemen. Is there something there? Is there a piece there that we could? We might look at differently if we're having a tough time with Willem. I don't know. No one knows. No one's on the inside. Everyone's speculating, and it makes for a little bit of chatter. But at the end of the day, we just hope that if you're a Leaf fan, that the Leafs have the best players on the ice that they possibly can, and if they have an asset and they can't get them signed, that they're moving the asset and bettering their hockey club.
Are you allowed to call yourself a Leafs fan?
I grew up in London, Ontario, and later in Toronto. That's all we had. They basically shove it down your throat, do they not?
Yeah, well, I mean, a little bit. We knew you wanted to come home. Like it was great.
That's what you grew up with. You grow up with it, and I live here in Toronto. Yeah, I want the Flyers to do well, and they're doing okay.
Yeah.
They're hanging in there. But I think that a city, when the sports teams do well in a city, the city is a better place to be. big believer in that. I think there's a great vibe. You get to playoff time, whether it's the Raptors or in particular the Leafs. I mean, it's a whole new level.
It is pretty great. And yeah, the Leafs are sort of shoved down your throat here. But who was your favorite Leafs video blogger growing up? No. Very, very inappropriate.
Specifically from Oshawa.
Yeah, no, you're at the...
we didn't even have cameras on our phones going through much of junior and into the first couple of years of pro, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
How did you live?
How did we ever get by? Actually, I think we lived quite well, to be honest with you.
Speaking of how did you live, so you're sort of at the tail end of what I think has been an incredibly spectacular year for you. Obviously getting inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, and there was the great ceremony in Philadelphia. And the one thing I kept reading over and over again was everyone just talked about how you look so happy. And I just want to know what the past year has been like for you.
Oh, the past year's just been amazing. It truly has been great. I mean, our whole family. I mean, my wife is, my kids, everyone has had a big part in it, and we've enjoyed it. I didn't. My kids weren't around to watch me play, and I'm not sure that my oldest guy, really gets it. I went down for hometown hockey. What was it, 2 Sundays ago or something like that, down in London, and on the car ride home, he was asking me, why do people want you to sign their paper and their cards? Why do they want to have pictures? And it's kind of a weird one to explain. And I just kind of think, my wife is there. She's much smoother at these things than I. No, it's just the whole bit has just been a bit of a dream come true. I mean, it's been fantastic, and I've got great people to share it with, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, so well deserved. And one of the things that I watched in its full was when you went back to Philadelphia and you spoke in front of the fans, and that was just so cool. And that must have been one of those great moments in your life. Can you describe what it was like to give that speech in front of all of the Philadelphia faithful?
You get fired up for it. You really do. You get, they kind of send you out, and they called that curtain or whatever, the 4-sided curtain and top, they called it a pookie. And I'd never heard that.
Never heard that either.
No.
Yeah. And when they pop that up, and you get into it, the place was just it. When you're away from a playoff game or a playoff atmosphere, or opening night, or that buzz in the stadium, you miss it. And that was the first time in many, many years that it was something similar or comparable to that feeling. It was amazing.
What do you think of Gritty?
Yeah, he took some shots early on. And it's Philadelphia's an interesting place too. I mean, Santa Claus being booed and whatnot. So it's not the easiest, even as an established personality to pop in, let alone come in as Gritty. But I think he's won them over. I think he continues to win people over, and stay with it, Gritty. You're doing a wonderful job.
Eric, we just want to say thank you so much for making time for us today. Thank you for answering the very painful questions on Nylander, which I'm sure you get asked every interview. And thank you so much for involving us in this Easter Seals initiative. We're so excited to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And if you're listening right now and you donated to any one of the three of us or anybody on the teams, thank you so much for you're really making a difference.
A special specific shout out to David Smith, who donated to Jesse just before the show. That donation actually pushed Rachel's Raiders Remix, which is our team, over the $20,000 mark.
Wow.
So
amazing.
Thank you very much.
That's amazing, guys.
Amazing.
And Eric, once again, just thanks so much for involving yourself. You talked about the kids and the family. I was one of those kids in my family. I wasn't specifically receiving it, but it was for my sister who has cerebral palsy. and our family attended the camps, and it was such a rare chance to get out of the house as a family and have fun as a family. So, even though I suck at hockey and had never played before last year's tournament, joining was a no-brainer, and rejoining this year was a no-brainer too. I really appreciate everything you've done.
Well, it's everyone that's pulling on the same rope here, and you guys are a big part of it.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. I'm going to try to get you a goal this year.
And by the way, thank you for signing in Toronto too, because I really wanted the whole thing to happen for the years and years I talked about it.
I did too, but I was only there for a cup of coffee this time around. But,
I know, but
anyway.
just know that it meant a lot to the 14-year-old me. Okay, it was a huge deal.
All right, I will. I'll keep that in mind.
Thanks. You made him feel old.
Eric, thanks so much. Take care.
All right, you guys have a great night.
All right, you too, buddy.